Calaroga Shark Media. Hello and welcome to Murder Weekly. This episode is titled The Congressman's Secret.
Detective Elena Martinez arrived at the scene, her expression somber as she navigated through the flurry of activity. The apartment belonged to Congressman David Henley. Lying in the center of the lavish living room was the body of a young woman, her features frozen in an expression of terror. Blood was splattered across the opulent furnishings and pristine walls, a stark contrast to the elegance of the surroundings. The victim, identified as 25-year-old Mia Reynolds, was a political aide who worked closely with the congressman. Elena's experienced eyes quickly took in the details, the multiple stab wounds that marred Mia's body, the signs of a violent struggle, the desperation that was evident in the disarray of the room. But it was the deliberate placement of the body and the symbolic nature of the wounds that hinted at something more sinister than a mere crime of passion. As Elena began her investigation, whispers of a cover-up started to surface. It became clear that powerful forces were at play, intent on protecting the congressman's reputation at any cost. Evidence started to disappear, witnesses became uncooperative, and Elena found herself facing obstacles at every turn. But the seasoned detective was undeterred. She delved deeper into Mia's life and her connection with Congressman Henley, uncovering a complex relationship that was entangled with ambition, power, and dangerous secrets. Mia, it seemed, was not just a political aide. She was involved in a clandestine affair with the congressman, a relationship that had the potential to destroy careers and lives. The autopsy report brought more chilling details to light. Mia had been tortured before her death, the brutality of the attack indicating a deep-seated rage or a message intended to be sent. The precision of the cuts suggested that the killer was someone with a knowledge of anatomy, someone who knew how to inflict maximum pain. Elena's relentless pursuit of the truth made her a target. There were those in the shadows who watched her every move, ready to silence the threat she posed. The warning came one evening as Elena was leaving the police station. As she stepped onto the street, lost in thought over the case, a black sedan accelerated towards her. The headlights blinded her, and the sound of the engine roared in her ears. Instinctively, she jumped back, feeling the rush of air as the car sped past, missing her by inches. The vehicle didn't stop, disappearing into the flow of traffic, leaving no trace but the lingering scent of exhaust and a heart pounding in shock. As Elena dug deeper into the documents and evidence, she found references to an underground network that specialized in human trafficking and torture for the entertainment of the elite. This revelation pointed to a horrifying possibility. Mia's murder wasn't just a political cover-up. It was part of a much darker and more sinister operation. Elena recalled the precise and ritualistic nature of Mia's wounds. They matched the modus operandi of a renowned torturer known in the underground circles as the Artist, infamous for their methodical and brutal torture techniques. It became clear that Mia had stumbled upon this network and had been silenced brutally. Determined to bring down this network and avenge Mia, Elena orchestrated a sting operation with the help of a few trusted colleagues. They infiltrated a high society event where members of this underground network were known to recruit and meet. Elena, dressed elegantly to blend in, scanned the opulent ballroom filled with the city's elite. Her eyes locked on Congressman Henley, who stood near a balcony, his posture rigid with tension. She approached him cautiously, aware of the many eyes that might be watching. "Congressman Henley," Elena greeted, her voice low. Henley turned, surprise flickering in his eyes before he masked it with a strained smile. "Detective Martinez, I didn't expect to see you here." "I could say the same," "What brings you to this kind of event?" Elena asked, her gaze sharp. Henley's eyes darted around the room before he leaned in, his voice a whisper. "I'm not here by choice, Detective. I'm being blackmailed. They have something on me, something that could ruin my career and my life." Elena studied his face, seeing the genuine fear in his eyes. Who's they? And does this have anything to do with Mia's murder? Yes, Henley admitted, a pained look crossing his features. Mia found out about this network. She wanted to expose them. I tried to warn her off, told her it was too dangerous, but she wouldn't listen. And you didn't protect her, Elena stated, her voice tinged with accusation. I couldn't. Henley's voice was desperate. They have eyes and ears everywhere. They're powerful, Detective, more than you can imagine. I was afraid, not just for myself, but for my family. Elena's expression softened slightly. Who's the artist? Help me find him. Henley hesitated, then muttered a name that sent a jolt through Elena. Armed with this information, Elena set a trap for the artist. Elena stood alone in the dimly lit warehouse, the air heavy with anticipation. The trap was set, her team concealed and ready to move in at her signal. Her heart pounded, not just with the fear of what was to come, but with the determination to face the monster who had taken Mia's life. Footsteps echoed in the vast space, slow and deliberate. Then he appeared from the shadows. The artist, a man known to the public as a philanthropist and a pillar of the community. But here, in the darkness, he was the predator, his true nature unmasked. Well, well, Detective Martinez, he said, his voice smooth and chilling. You're a braver woman than I gave you credit for. Elena's grip tightened on her weapon. Your games end tonight. No more hiding behind your reputation. The artist chuckled, a sound that made Elena's skin crawl. Do you think you've uncovered the truth? You've barely scratched the surface. This city is rotten to the core, and I'm just a symptom of its disease. You're a murderer and a torturer, Elena shot back, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her. He stepped closer, his eyes gleaming in the low light. Murder, torture, they're just tools. Tools to expose the hypocrisy of those who think they're above it all. Mia was one such tool, a naive girl who thought she could change the world. Elena felt a surge of anger. She was a human being, not a tool for your sick games. The artist shrugged, his expression one of twisted amusement. In the end, we're all just pawns in a larger game. Even you, Detective. That was the signal. Elena's team burst from their hiding places, flooding the warehouse with light and shouts. The artist reached for something in his coat, but before he could react, Elena tackled him to the ground. The struggle was fierce, he was surprisingly strong, but Elena's determination fueled her. After a violent tussle, they subdued him. Handcuffed and defeated, the artist glared at Elena with undisguised hatred. You think you've won, he spat, but you're just a cog in the machine. This city will chew you up and spit you out. Although the case was closed, Elena couldn't help but feel a sense of hollow victory. The city was safer. The scars of what she had uncovered, the depth of corruption and depravity, would haunt her. She had stared into the abyss, and while she had emerged victorious, the darkness had left its mark on her soul.
Murder Weekly is a Calaroga Shark media production. Written and hosted by Aide Flanagan. Produced by Mark Francis. Executive producers, Mark Francis and John McDermott. Calaroga Shark Media.